This conference will now be recorded.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the regular meeting, Moose Lake City Council for Wednesday, December 9th, 2020. And first thing is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item is the agenda. Do we have any additions or changes to the agenda?
I've got one addition, and that is the Arbor Day proclamation.
And when will that, what item, Katie?
New business is fine.
So that would be H.
Should be I. I sent you two packets. One of them was newer than the other. You might have printed out the old one.
I did. What is H?
H is the 2021 annual appointments.
All right. I'm going to take a second to see if I can get to that newer packet. There, I have it now. Thank you, Katie.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll move.
Have a second?
I'll second. This is Walt.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed,
Aye.
say no. Motion carried. Thank you. Financial reports. Excuse me, consent agenda. This would be 2A, the minutes regular city council meeting for November 18th. Do we have any discussion and or changes?
247. 10-7. Have a good night. Have a good night, 1603.
Hearing none, do we have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Under consent agenda 2B, the financial reports. Number 1 is the city accounts payable for November 2020. Number 2 is the city financial statements for November 2020. Number 3 is the liquor store profit loss statement for November 2020. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll move.
Chris, are you second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. When we get down to the lower area where we have to do individual motions and vote, I'll do a roll call. I just want to kind of get through the consent agenda that way. For public comment, this time is reserved for comments from the public on matters not listed on the agenda. Hearing none, we'll move on. Department reports, police chief.
Mayor and members of the council, as you should all have attached, you'll see a copy of the police report for November. We had 180 calls for service. 11 of those calls for service were to MSOP. In addition to the calls for service, we spent approximately 80 hours on MSOP calls and 2 hours at the Department of Corrections. Tomorrow I'll have a meeting up at MSOP and we'll be discussing some of this along with some other items, and then there'll be another meeting with DOC to follow, trying to look at a couple different things in the works on maybe what we can do with the amount of time that we're spending on those calls. I think you can even see between last month and this report here, a lot of our extra patrol and some of those things have kind of dropped off due to the volume of some of those other calls. So something's got to get addressed there. I know I mentioned it last month, and we're in the process of moving that way. So I can keep you updated, or if you have any questions, let me know. But I will be meeting tomorrow as at least a kickoff meeting for some of that. If you look at the self-initiated, we had 13 extra patrol, 40 traffic stops, and 24 community engagement. Of the ones that were called to service, we had 28 to assist to other agencies, 68 calls for service, and 7 medicals for the total of 180. I know there was some kind of rumor report that there was a robbery at Dollar General. It ended up being, I haven't talked to the officer that was there, but somebody had shot the window out with a BB gun. So that explains some of that. And I know there was some other question about something maybe up at McDonald's, and I have not heard of anything. Any type of report up there. So other than that, we're just finishing up that other long investigation for MSOP, and our end will be pretty well done with that moving forward. And other than that, it's just the same old stuff.
I'm gonna clear here. We can call him if you need to talk.
Do you have any questions for Darren?
Yeah, Darren, I have a question for you. I
Yeah.
see that there was a lot of stops on I-35 this month, a lot more than normal. I'm just wondering, how often are our officers patrolling I-35? I see that some of them were to assist other agencies, and then there was some traffic stops.
Yeah, most of the time they really aren't going to be out there doing our own patrol out there. If the state gives out a possible drunk driver or something similar, or driving complaint, road rage issue, and we're close, they'll respond out there if it's close to one of our exits or in that range there. I know I've talked to some of the other officers in the past to be selective on what we go to, and that we're not going to be responding to North of Barnum, Mattawa, some of these other ones. So they're aware that you know, depending on the nature of the call and what it is. But as far as just sitting out there doing patrol on the interstate, they might shoot between the 2 exits to come in on the other side of town every once in a while, but they shouldn't be spending any time out there.
Okay, thank you for your response. I appreciate it.
Yeah, if you hear otherwise or see otherwise, let me know, but I'll have a talk with everybody as well.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Appreciate it. Pass a thank you on to the staff.
I will, thank you.
Public Works Superintendent report.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Kind of a weird month. We jumped into snow and ice removal there really quick, and then now we don't seem to have a whole lot of snow. So kind of weird. But anyway, we'll get going here. Water department, 3.4 million gallons drinking water in the month of November that we ended up distributing to our customers. The well house is coming along. We can discuss that more in the engineering report here after, I believe, this segment, or 1 or 2 more. Sewer department collected 12.8 million gallons of wastewater in the month of November. Treatment system, we are still going to plan on doing 1 more discharge in December here. That's going to average somewhere between 18 to 20 million gallons. We should be wrapped up then after that. And that'll take us through That'll put us right up till about Christmas Day, somewhere in there with that discharge, and then we'll be pretty much wrapped up for the year as far as treatment goes. So far, everything is looking good. Our results, our parameters are all met. PCA seems to be happy. So yeah, we're in good shape there. The ferrochloric acid that was approved at the last meeting was delivered, and yes, is delivered. And yeah, so that's good. That's done, taken care of. Nothing to report on the cemeteries, the campground, or the park, other than the mower deck that was approved at the last month's meeting has been ordered, picked up, installed, and ready to go. So we are set there. Street department, believe it or not, we're still out patching a few potholes, that kind of thing. If there's some that poke up at everybody or that raise some concern, please feel free to get a hold of City Hall, Public Works Department, myself, any one of us can get you going in the right direction with that. We can get on it right away. And then just, snow and ice removal. And that'll be the same, that'll be the word here for, I'm sure, the next 3 to 5 months. So other than that, that's all I had on that.
They have some report, right?
Do we have any questions for the Public Works? Hearing none, thanks a lot, Phil. Pass that thank you on to the crew.
Will do.
Moving on to technology and library report, Katie.
I have a technology report included in the packet from CW. It looks like some information from the last 6 months and what kind of tickets have been open, and then what kind of licenses and renewals and things like that. I just wanted to give you guys a picture of what we see for technology and what CW does for us on the back end that we don't see on a day-to-day basis.
Any questions from the council? Hearing none, thanks, Katie. But engineer report is next.
For engineering, there's nothing too wild going on right now. We're just kind of continuing on with the well house project. The trail, this Highway 73 trail, will be likely up for bid, and well, they'll probably request to post that in January, and then we'll do bid openings in February. So then we have a contractor in place and ready to go come springtime. Same goes with the Sioux Line Trail. Phil, do you want to give a update on what's going on at the pump house?
Sure, Ken. So we did actually have our weekly update meeting this afternoon. As of right now, the precast panels for the ceiling have been set, pinned, and grouted. So, I mean, essentially there is a roof on the building. However, that is not the roof that's going to be on the building. That is the concrete structure that goes on top of the walls that basically binds the entire structure together. There will be a wooden trussed roof, very similar to what you would see on a house. Those trusses should be getting set on Monday, and then from there they'll be sheeting and then getting the roof put on, and then continuing to get it weather tight so they can get some heat going in there. The electric heaters have been installed and are ready to be wired up. That should be taking place as early as Monday. The trusses I spoke about. One more thing this week yet they're going to try to do is there's a waterproofing membrane that goes on the exterior of the block. That just, if you drive by, you see it's a block foundation and block walls. There's a waterproofing foundation that has to go on, and since the temps are still up, they're going to try to get that on yet tomorrow and Friday, I believe. And then from there, we'll be starting to move to the interior with electrical and the hardware and the gear for the electrical and the SCADA system and that kind of stuff. So we're moving right along.
And then the other big thing that we talked about was, which I had emailed all you guys out earlier, maybe last week it was, about the LRIP grant. So that grant is the one we received for, I think it was Kenwood and Third. There's a few criteria, and I sent you guys the information on it. So if you guys can think of any road that applies to, our engineers are also going to be looking at the CIP list that was put together last year, the year before, and compare that to the criteria to see if anything meets the couple of different requirements. So if you guys have any ideas, please just let me know. and I'll pass them along.
Very good. I can think right away that connects to 73, and that's First Street. And that's bad shape from 73 up to Elm.
Yeah, I thought of that one. I thought of 4th Street. 4th Street was the first one that I thought of just because of the connection to the campground. And then I thought of 2nd Street because of the connection to the boat launch. Or 3rd Street to the connection to, I mean, we've got options. So.
Well, we have that list for the next meeting, the full list that we made. We should review that anyway. Any questions from the council?
Oh, Doug, you're muted.
Well, how about that? We didn't ask if there were any questions on the well house. I know that there was a lockout of a contractor, and Phil, has that been rectified, or is there any other issues?
No, there's no other issues at this time, and yes, they're not allowed in there, and that's the way it is, and that's the way it's going to go throughout the rest of the project. So, but as of right now, we're in good shape.
Okay, other question. You had mentioned that there was a curing process, and that when the temperatures were colder, that they had to put up that structure around it and apply heat to it. Are we good to go? Are we sure that the engineers checked it out and there's no structural issues with that? Any cracks in the foundation or anything?
There has been 2 different inspectors on site from our engineering firm at different times, and they are doing a wonderful job, and they're really making sure that the contractors are keeping their I's dotted and their T's crossed on this. So I've been very, very happy with what I've seen.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Any further questions for the city engineer part? I got something that I missed. I'd like to ask Darren. Are the vehicles that we have, are they in good shape? Did we have a couple need repair?
Well, we're down to the 2 now. Phil has the truck with his crew over there now, and then we had to do some work on the Tahoe here recently for about $1,700 on motor mount, and then some struts in the front end. Other than that, that seems to be going good. We had some warranty work done on the Explorer, and because that was cutting out, not running right, but now that's back up to speed. So everything seems to be working well at the moment.
Sounds good. Thanks. So we got 2 vehicles then, or you have 2?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Moving on to Chamber of Commerce updates. Katie, do you have anything you want to mention to them?
I don't think anything necessarily chamber related. We just had a meeting with, well, their monthly meeting was today. And I discussed possibly working on a little bit of a partnership with them next year for 2021, should we decide to do fireworks. It kind of sounds like we're running out of volunteers to shoot off the fireworks, which means that we will have to pay a company to do that. And I just contacted one company a couple weeks ago, and the increase in price is about $3,000. So I was trying to figure out a way to work together with the chamber on fundraising, asking local businesses to help pitch in for the increased cost. And as I was doing that, some more ideas were presented to me. So we will likely be working with the chamber on some fundraising for the fireworks for next year. So that was the biggest thing.
Also, the chamber is going to have another program between now and the end of the year on, I think they voted on $12,000 to be given out to different businesses that apply for it that may need help with this COVID stuff going on still.
They actually approved, they're purchasing $12,000 worth of gift cards from businesses. So they're doing the same program that they did. I can't remember when they did it, in May, June.
Yeah. So
they approved up to $12,000. That doesn't necessarily mean that the the need will be 12,000, but that was the dollar amount that they gave.
Chris, did you have a question?
Yeah, about the fireworks. How much money did they receive this year for the fireworks that never happened?
None. We didn't work together this year. We typically purchase the fireworks and
Well,
have,
businesses donate towards them, don't they?
what's that?
The business used to donate towards them. Do they not get any donations anymore?
Nope. Nope. And we also haven't asked. Since I've been here, we have not asked. Yep, go ahead, Doug.
Yes, Doug.
Chris, I think it's been like 5 years ago, and it's still a craw on my side, but since they stiffed us $2,500 or $5,000, and they never repaid it. So that we've been going along since then. It's been four years maybe.
Okay. So probably right before I started, because since I've started, we've not gotten a penny for fireworks.
No, I just know that the businesses used to contribute to the fireworks in addition to the city, but some of the funds were from chamber businesses or local businesses that contributed to it. So
So
I was just
kind of
wondering
what,
if we had collected those and have those in a pot for next year, or?
I wish. But as we were kind of talking about it, Ted and I were talking about it today, we could put donation bins at the liquor store, see if we could put one at KJ's, anywhere that has a large number of public going into, and see, because I don't think that the public is necessarily against donating. We just don't offer it right now. So, throw a couple bucks in the donation pot, and at least it'll help pay for some of it. So
No, these were specifically business donations
businesses,
that used to donate.
sure.
They haven't done that for a while, Chris, but that wasn't normal until about 4 or 5 years ago. And that stopped, and the city went up to, we used to donate 5,000, we went up to 7,000. And
Yeah,
that's
but I know, go ahead.
And that's where we're at right now. And that's why we asked the chamber for their support, as many businesses as can that can put out a donation can or box or whatever. And that would include the business also. They could too.
I guess I'm just not aware that at any time the chamber stopped requesting donations from businesses towards the fireworks. I mean, yeah, that's the way it always had been when I was on the chamber and owned a business. So I just assumed that it still was going. I didn't realize we were paying the whole cost.
But we're not anymore.
Katie, did that company give you a quote on how much it would cost for the total production of a fireworks show?
Yep, they said about $10,000.
About 10,000.
Yep.
That's for 15 to 20 minutes.
Yep.
We did have, Jim did volunteer, Jim who works at the liquor store, he volunteered to still shoot off the fireworks for the start of the Agate Day Stampede and the 4th of July. So whatever company we work with, we'll ask him to get 4 bangers. And so there's one for each of them, and there's a spare in case there's a dud.
Are there any updates on Agate Days?
They're meeting January 15th, I believe. So nothing yet.
Still planning like as if everything will be normal. And as the year goes on, we'll see how things work out, and it'll change as things change, I guess. That's the same with all their events for the year. Any further questions on the chamber update? Hearing none, moving on to the truth and taxation public hearing.
That's actually going to be at 6 o'clock.
Okay, so leave that as it is.
Yep. I don't think everyone wants me to go through it twice.
No. So we'll move on to previously discussed. Liquor store freezer.
So last month you guys approved a freezer through the Webstaurant store, and I think it was the day after, or maybe a couple days after, Elaine got word back from AirServe, which was the one who came and serviced the freezer to tell us that it had died. And they gave a quote on an Aurora freezer, which I asked Elaine if the size was comparable, and she said that it was. So this one is a little bit cheaper. It's $3,011.22. And then I kind of figured the perk of this one would be that if something goes wrong with it, we have a local-ish company that will service it. So I thought I would throw it in here and see what you guys thought.
And some female driver, I know, in place.
Looking for a motion, right, Katie?
Yeah.
Any further questions? Go ahead, Doug. I think you're muted.
Sorry about that. That quote that you just gave, Katie, was garbled. I did not hear what the quote was.
Oh, sorry. The total of the quote from AirServe was $3,011.22.
And the one that we approved last month was?
$3,128.29.
Thank you. I'll make a motion that we go with AirServe for $3,011.22.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye. I'll do a roll call. Walt?
Aye.
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
And who am I missing? I'm missing one. Greg?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, Katie. Moving on to new business. The 2021 liquor license renewals.
In your packet, you have a list of the completed 2021 liquor license renewals that everything came back good. They all need approval so we can send them off to the state.
Any questions? We need a motion, right, on that?
Yep.
Any questions and/or motion?
I'll make a motion. I just want to make sure, Darren, there's been no issues with any of these people?
Nope, nothing to my knowledge.
Okay, then I'll make a motion to approve the 5 individuals on the list.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Walt. All in favor, say aye. I'll do the roll call. Greg?
Aye.
Walt?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Motion carried. Moving on to B, the 2021 tobacco license renewals. Discussion and/or motion.
I'll also make a motion to approve them so long as there's been no problems, Darren.
Nope, nothing on that either.
Okay. I'll
Do I
make
have
a
a
motion
second?
to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Walt?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to number C, the Lakehead, let's see, hard to read that. Constructors pay application number 1.
Yep, this pay application is for, oh gosh, where was it? I think it's for September and October in the amount of $398,050.
Any questions, discussion, or motion?
So Phil, that's a good one to pay?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And Katie, being the financial whiz? All right.
I
I'll
think
make
that's
that
probably a
motion.
wise idea.
I'll make that motion that we pay that $398,050.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Start with Greg.
Aye.
Walt,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Doug.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to D, Cindy Walcher resignation. Katie?
So Cindy works at our recycle shed, and she told me that she had gotten a job as the clerk for Windermere Township, so she is going to need to resign her position. She did say that she would stay on for like a fill-in basis, but we will have to post for this position. I would say like next week maybe.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion to accept the resignation?
I'll make that motion. I have a question though with that.
I'll
Katie?
ask first and then ask a question, Chris. Do I have a second? Chris, question?
Wasn't there another lady that alternated with her? Is she gonna stay on?
Yes.
Okay.
So couldn't we just ask her if she wants the position?
I probably will ask her if she wants to keep both weekends, but if she doesn't, then I'll probably post for it if that's okay with you guys.
Very good. All those in favor say aye. Start with Greg.
Aye.
Walt,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Doug.
Aye.
Motion carried. Moving on to the Moose Lake Windermere Sewer District. Katie, you want to explain the overage there, the overage charge?
Not really. No, I'm just kidding. 2019 overage charge. I included a little summary of this in your guys' packet. We charged them a little over $7,500 at the beginning of 2020 for their 2019 overages. Per their contract, they paid, I can't remember when they paid, they probably like August, they paid 75%, which means that they still owe us $1,896.14. Phil, Ted, Greg, and I all attended their board meeting in August. And then I discussed this further with Darla in September. I discussed this with her again, I think in October, and it still obviously is not paid. So I guess I'm looking for a little bit of direction as to what we all want to do going forward, because no secret to anybody, 2020 is now coming to a close and we're going to have this same issue for 2021.
You know, during the meeting with them, they want to negotiate with us this dollar amount. And to me, this is not a contract item. This is a late payment. And this was created, we went to a different type of method of certifying the meters, and it's more of a digitized type of certification instead of using a tape measure. So it's a new development, and it's way more accurate than a tape measure. And we told them we're not going to go backwards or keep using an old method when there's a new method out that everybody else uses. And that's where they disagree with having to pay this extra amount caused by a new and more accurate way of measuring. And Phil, do you have anything else to say on that?
No, I think you did a mighty fine job, Ted. Thank you.
So we have a disagreement, and they want to negotiate a different price or well, I think at first they wanted their contract person to be present when our contractor does the certification using the new equipment so they could see how it was used. So to me, it's a ridiculous thing.
The other part of this too that I will say is, I think it was in 2018, they decided that they wanted to, well, we took over the lift station because they just wanted to be like another customer to us, where before it was backwards, they would tell us how much they owed, and now it's the exact opposite, is we're telling them how much they're owing us. Well, I'm telling you, you owe me $1,896.14, and they're not paying it because they don't like the number. So I referenced, a power company. If you don't like the number that's on your bill, you don't get the option of not paying it, or you're not going to have any power. So I don't know. I mean, I've probably talked to them about this same issue at least 5 times. So I'm not sure what more I can do aside from continuing to send them a bill. I've even offered to have Phil help to see if he can figure out what the problem may be. And to my knowledge, I don't think that they've called you.
I do have a question.
Yes, Chris.
So next year, are they going to say the same thing as we didn't measure by tape measure? So what they owe us is just what they think they owe us? I mean, you're correct. It's just like getting a power company. You don't negotiate the price you're buying or getting your services from. I say continue to bill them, and
There's a monthly charge too when you have a late payment. We haven't calculated that, but that would be almost for a whole year. So probably, unless you've done that now, Katie.
I have not, but it says, so it says, I looked under what the interest rate would be, and it unfortunately doesn't list one, but it does say that under section 8.1, the board shall pay the base rate and any excess flow charge on a monthly basis within 21 days of the receipt of the bill. Well, it's been much more than 21 days.
Well, I think we should probably send them one more time the bill with that contract language. And after that, I think we should contact our lawyer, because I don't consider this a negotiation item on a contract. This is a late payment. And the contract does not state that we have to use an old method using a tape measure. You stick it in the water and look at it, where we can use a digitized measuring device, which everyone in the world is using now.
so they are aware that this method we used last year will be used this year, and there will be no question about a tape measure.
Yeah, we're not going to go backwards.
Yeah.
Phil, do you have anything else to add?
I can kind of sum up a little bit of the calibration process if there is any questions on it real quick here. That meter is supposed to be calibrated twice a year. I do not, previous to the city owning it, I do not know how often it was calibrated. I know from the day we owned it, I started calibrating it once in the spring and once in the fall. So twice a year. It's giving us very, very similar results across the board from since we started using it to even when I had them here in, I think it was October. This outfit we're using now, it's called First Systems Technology. Brad White is his name, and he's been in business for 25 some odd years. And excuse me, he a very, very knowledgeable person. And for I think $50 more, we're getting a service of a measurement to a calibration of within 1,000th of an inch, versus like Ted explained, I have pictures of the guy doing it before with a tape measure. So I mean, it's very simple. And I mean, it's 2020, almost 2021. We got to get with the game here. It is what it is. I'm very happy with this company. I think Katie and Ted are as well. And yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. If there are any other questions, I can feel free to answer them for you.
Thanks, Phil. Anybody have any more questions on it? So we'll try one more bill before the end of the year, and that's, to me, then we turn it over to our lawyer, because to me, this is not a negotiating item. This is just the late payment.
Can we send that certified, please?
Say that, Doug?
Can we send that certified, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Got that, Katie?
Got it.
Thank you. Moving on to number F, the brush mower quotes.
Phil, would you like to explain?
Sure. Of course I can. So you guys know we've been doing a lot of different things that we have not been doing in the past. And it turns out it's actually saving the city of Moose Lake a ton of money. So that's good. Couple quotes I have here for you are for a brush hog. They are for the front of our skid steer. My intentions for this is to clear our street right-of-ways, water and sewer utility easements, right-of-ways, anything like that. We do have some remote sites for some sanitary stuff as far as easements that we need to get in and clean. This for the right word here, but this aspect of the utility itself has not been looked at yet since I've been here. There's some places that we're walking around some overgrowth of quite a few years trying to drag hoses and nozzles through the brush and through the woods to get our equipment to where they need to go. And it's making it a lot harder. And not to mention that vegetation, those roots from that vegetation are going to eventually get into our system, and they're going to create an issue. So this is just another huge maintenance tool that would help us dramatically. They're the same 72-inch cut mower, the same flow, the same GPM. They're the same unit. They are made by two different companies. One for a G2 implement for $5,100, and then one from Ziegler Cat for, it looks like, $5,350.
And this will come out of, if approved, some leftover capital funds from the general fund that we won't spend otherwise.
So I'll open it up for discussion. Enter a motion from the council. I want to make sure our budget can handle it, and that's no problem, and we're not taking it out anybody else's fund.
How much do we have left over in our general fund that we're pulling this out of?
Out of capital, we've got probably $40,000 in capital.
That just brings up a question to me that maybe Darren can answer. We are on a cycle for law enforcement vehicles, and I know that Walt has had some concerns about spending there, and I just wanted to make sure that we're still on par looking for, I take it that we probably need another vehicle next year, possibly. I just wanted to see where we're at there and if there's other things that we need as we move forward.
Yeah, I mean, Katie and I have talked a little bit, and I know we're going to need to be looking at ordering one, and just even now for the process of how long it's taking to get them. So I've kind of been looking at some different ones here and what's going to be the most beneficial for our agency. And then as far as budgeting wise, it's kind of where Katie's at. If we're looking at ordering one towards the end of 2021 to be here, we'd have to, if we ordered one in like August, we probably wouldn't have it until April, May, somewhere in that time frame.
So that brings up something that I can touch on too at 6 o'clock, but we will have some money left over in our general fund capital. My idea with that was to put that into a GL account, which basically just separates it from the rest of our money and designates it for a future capital need. So let's say we end 2020 with $40,000 or $35,000. We can use that for a future squad or any equipment that Phil might need or what, really anything, but it just sets it aside from the rest of our reserves.
What is our reserve at right now, Katie?
I'm sorry.
What is our reserve at right now?
I don't know. I can't answer that right off the cuff because we have some adjusting journal entries that we have to make for our sales tax and whatever. We have but it's very healthy. I can tell you that.
Okay, thanks. Enough that we're like, was it 7 or 8 months out that we could cover if?
Yeah.
So we're sitting really well.
I think that's what we were at the end of 2020 and 2019. So in 2020, we're doing just fine financially.
Very good. Any more questions by the council? No more questions. We have a motion for the brush hog.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have okay, which one, I should say?
There was one for 5,100, I believe. It was cheaper.
Okay, do we have a second?
That's where you call in. So it's one of their residents in their group home.
Was that Greg that seconded? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Greg?
They're requesting an officer come talk to the incident.
Greg?
Aye.
Walt?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to the next item. 7G, the sewer jetter nozzle quotes.
So I'm going to have Phil talk about the details of what this is going to do, but this would come out of the sewer fund, of which we have a very healthy reserve for also. And I'm not sure if it's included in the financials for this month or if it came in early December, but we did receive our insurance money from when the mixers went down. So that was $25,000. So just so you guys know, we have a very healthy balance in our sewer fund. So, but I'll let Phil talk about what he's going to use this for.
Okay, so in 2016, I put together a sanitary sewer maintenance program, which is actually it's actually required for the city of Moose Lake to do. I know it's through the League of Minnesota Cities for insurance and whatever and whatnot. So we ended up with our trailer jetter, and that is a wonderful piece of equipment. And we have now been in every single manhole and in every single stretch of pipe in this town, which is, I think, the first time in, I think, forever. It's crazy. So at the end of that line that goes down the sewer line is a nozzle. Okay, so it's not just your ordinary nozzle. There's different types of nozzles. We have a cleaning nozzle, and we have 2 heavier duty cleaning nozzles, but then there's this one, and this one looks like it kind of looks like a coffee thermos, to be honest with you. And what it does, it's made for removing heavy soils and debris, which we have a lot of because we have a lot of clay pipe in town. We have removed yards and yards of rocks and dirt and sediment and stuff that are in these pipes. And this nozzle, we actually had a chance to demo one from our a local cleaning company in Duluth, who I know very well. And this thing is unbelievable what it can do. The amount of sediment it moved was, it would have took us 5 shots in the same manhole, which a shot takes about 5 to 7 minutes. It would have took 5 to 6 shots in that manhole to do what this thing did in 1 shot, which was 5 to 7 minutes. So there's 2 estimates here in front of you for what's called an Ends Bulldog nozzle for removing heavy debris and heavy silt. One is from Center Service Equipment Company. The same exact nozzle, same everything. That one there for $3,400 and $3,450. There's one from Flexible Pipe and Tool Company for $3,265. Once again, same exact nozzle, same PSI, same horsepower, same everything. They're apples to apples completely. So.
Any
And I
questions?
will also, sorry,
go
I'm just going to jump in really quickly just to explain why the League of Minnesota Cities has that requirement there. When somebody's basement backs up or whatever, one of the first questions that the insurance company asks me is, when was the last time that line was cleaned? And I swiftly hand them Phil's phone number because I don't know the answer to that, but he does, because he's put this program together. So this equipment has saved us a lot of money through insurance. So.
Very good, thank you. Questions by the council and or motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the Flexible Pipe Tool Company quote for, I think it was 32,000. I lost it now here.
65.
3265.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye. I'll start with Greg.
Aye.
Walt,
Aye.
Doug,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
motion carried. Move on to 7H, the 2021 annual appointments. Katie?
These are, I highlighted the individuals who are up for reappointment at the end of this year, beginning of next year. What I'm going to do is I will contact these individuals to see if they are still interested in being on these boards and authorities and things like that. I also plan on putting an ad out just to see if anybody else is interested, and then we kind of just go from there. But I just wanted you guys to be aware of who was all up for renewal in 2021. But you'll see this again in January, so.
Also, any council members, as you look through the different committees, if you want to get on a different committee or want to change from where you're at, contact the council member that is on a committee and talk to them about if you want to change or so forth. And anybody wants to serve on Power and Light, please contact me. I would appreciate that very much. Greg, was that you?
I didn't say a word.
Oh, I thought I heard something. All right. I think we have another addition, and that is I, and that is, was it?
The Arbor Day proclamation.
Arbor Day proclamation. You want to explain it, Katie?
Sure. So it's just a proclamation. They actually did it in October, but so then we can keep our Tree City USA designation. Clarissa asked me to get it approved. I can just read kind of the end of it. This is all coming from Ted. As the mayor, it says, in the city of Moose Lake, I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the area and promote the well-being of this and future generations. So I just need a motion to approve this and then pass it on.
Have a motion?
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Start with Greg.
Aye.
Walt,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Doug,
Aye.
motion carried. Moving on to reports and correspondence. There is some correspondence from Dwayne Grace that's called a backflow preventer. Is there anything on that? I asked Bill that I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it.
Yeah, so I got,
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
you sure?
It's all you.
All right. So I got this given to me, I think it was last Friday. And I started looking at some things in there, and then I pulled out the plumbing code and looked at that as well. And we're gonna get into some of this. We are going to start a file on this, and we're gonna start looking at some of these. My biggest concern right now is the RPZ, which is a reduced pressure zone backflow preventer. And we are going to start there, and we are going to work this into our yearly file that we take a look at. It is something that is basically pushed around by the state through the plumbing code to the local governing official, which happens to be us. So we are going to start looking at this probably, and I would say probably by January we'll be starting to look at this already. So if anybody wants me to get into detail with this, I'll gladly do so. I recommend doing that not in a meeting like this because it is extremely lengthy. So I definitely can, but definitely can share more information with anyone who's interested in this. So.
I mean, essentially the nuts and bolts of it is that the individual resident, business owner, whatever it is, would have to pay to get their backflow preventer inspected, right? Did I say that right? Okay. Okay, so kind of what Phil and I had talked about was starting some type of a program, and maybe starting with some of the larger users, starting with Quick Trip and McDonald's and those kinds of places, and perfect the system and then go from there. Because likely McDonald's is big enough that they're probably already doing this. So it's essentially just getting us the paperwork that they've had it inspected. So that was our thought, was to get started on it that way.
Will this ever affect the individual homeowner? It will.
It very well can. Yes.
Is it a mandate for older construction, or will it be just for new construction for homes?
That I'm not sure on. So this is kind of a new book here for us to open up and to start digging into. That's why I want to start slow with this. I know this program is in place in St. Paul, Minneapolis, Duluth, and I believe St. Cloud. I do not know of any smaller cities that are doing this. I did reach out to a couple of colleagues of mine with rural water, and they gave me the same answer. However, this is kind of a CYA deal. We're going to definitely look into this, and just keep picking away at it. That's what we're going to do.
All right, thank you. Any questions by the council for Phil? Moving on, committee and board meeting minutes, Moose Lake Area Fire District minutes for November 10th. Walt, do you have anything new you want to add or cover?
No, there wasn't a whole lot discussed at the last fire department meeting.
All right, thank you. I'll go through announcements, and then Katie will discuss what we're going to do after we're done with that between then and 6 o'clock. On announcements, regular Moose Lake City Council meeting Wednesday, January 13th at 4 p.m. Moose Lake City Council chamber. The Moose Lake Economic Development Authority Wednesday, December 16th at 12 p.m. at the city conference room. Moose Lake Water and Light Commission regular meeting Tuesday, December 15th, 3 p.m. at the Water and Light office. Moose Lake Housing and Redevelopment Authority Board Monday, December 14th, 11 a.m. Hillside Manor office. Moose Lake Area Fire District Tuesday, January 12th, 6:30 p.m. Emergency Response Center. And the Moose Lake Park Board meeting Monday, January 4th, 6:30 PM at the council chamber room. Also, before any of the meetings, just to remind everyone, you have to do a reorganization because it's the beginning of the year. And the council will be doing that, the first item of business in January before we do conduct the meeting. All that will have to be done. And just a reminder for your boards and committees you're on that you'll have to do that also in January. So Katie, between now and 6 o'clock, are we gonna call this just a recess and open back up?
Yeah, I would imagine you guys are probably gonna all go eat dinner. And yes, we'll just kind of meet back. We'll use the same meeting code. I'll stop this meeting and I'll start it back up a little bit before 6.
Okay, so I need a motion to take a recess.
So moved.
Got a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carried. So we'll see everyone around 6 o'clock. Thank you.